Hey, what's happening, guys? Thanks for stopping back into the channel here with the Rustbeltmechanic. Today we have got the crappy 300 back into the shop over here at my buddy's shop, and it is teardown day. We're going to be going through this thing, not really doing any installation, but hopefully just going through it and finding out exactly what's wrong, so the laundry list of the stuff that I have that I think I need to buy is actually going to be accurate. All right, so plan of attack. These Hemis are pretty easy to work on. We're going to start with getting the intake off, EGR, all that. Valve covers, both of those come off. Thankfully, to pull the heads, you don't have to pull anything in the timing cover alongside there. You do have to pull the alternator over here on this side, and on this side, you probably got to get a couple of hoses and stuff underway underneath. Pull the bolts to the exhaust manifold flanges underneath, and you're going to pull the heads out with all of the exhaust manifold and everything all at the same time. It is a push rod motor, so all you got to do is take the rocker assemblies off, and it's actually going to come apart pretty easy. So at least we're aiming to find out what is wrong with our cylinder 7 on the motor first off today.
1 hour later.
All right, we've got all of our intake off. We've got our all valve train, everything off. Power steering pump from this side is loose because that's what it was on the front of the head, and we're ready to pull the head and see what's wrong with cylinder 7. 102 sensor got stuck. How about that? There we go.
That's not good.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, shit.
Shit sandwich.
Did it fucking...
Dropped a valve seat and destroyed a piston. Wow. Let's check this out. All right, as we can see, we got the head here. And there's our cylinder 7. Oh, man.
Please disperse! Nothing to see here, please!
That's some carnage. And then the worst news...
But wait! There's more!
Is that one right there. That piston is destroyed. We got holes into the side of it. Well, bad news, boys and girls. Looks like we're probably going to be needing to find us a motor. Well, I guess we win some, we lose some. Oh, that's where... No, that one looks like it got dinged up a little bit. Yep. Something got into there. Cylinder 3. Yuck. Yep, that's why you got no compression. There's a hole in the piston. Well, guys, looks like the bad news bear has hit us, and hit us quite hard on this one. Looks like we're going to have to be pulling the motor, so now we need to start thinking about what do we want to do. Do we want to find a junkyard engine to try to get it put together, you know, a whole piece here and there, or what? One of the cool things that I still do kind of have sitting around is I've got a... Where's my camera going? Where are you going? Come back. It decided to active track something else. Hold on.
I noticed something that's going to be a problem, probably.
There we go. So we've got a motor out of a 17 Ram 1500. It's a Hemi, but I'm not really sure whether that will really kind of made up, whether the crank signal will be the same, cam signal will be the same, or anything like that. So I'm not really sure in that aspect. If you guys know, make sure you put that down in the comments. If you guys have worked on trying to swap some of the newer motors instead of some of these older ones, whether it's just going to be an ECU tune or something like that, we could look into that one. Or do we just go all crazy and see about finding a crazy motor and building that up? Or do we take this one out and try to see if we can just put some pistons in it, check the motor out, sleeve it, worst case scenario? I don't know. Leave some comments down below. Let's see what you guys think about this part of the build going on. Because where we were at before, we were thinking that we could just buy a pair of heads, and on Amazon, those are at like you know, $500-600 for a pair of them, which is pretty insanely cheap. But now we're looking at whole engine status, and I don't know how well Amazon's going to carry that one. I haven't personally looked at that one yet, so by the time I post this video, I don't know, might be able to throw up a couple of options, but I want to hear from you guys and see what you think on that one. You know, we're still going to have to look at pulling a lot of other stuff. At least the front end's going to have to get, you know, taken care of on it. It's going to have a new radiator stuff here in the front end. We have to pull that stuff apart. And the fact that it is an all-wheel drive one, we're going to have to figure out whether that stuff mates up underneath of it, the oil pan, the axle assembly, whether it bolts up to the motor or if it just bolts into the pan. I'll have to look at that one as well. Lots of questions to have to ask myself and get to looking on this one. So now it's kind of back to the drawing board. Big pain in the butt. So we got to looking at the motor, and looks like the front differential just bolts and goes through the lower oil pan. So that might be an option for it, but to be totally honest, at this point, for the best bang for the buck, I think we're just probably going to have to end up pulling the motor and taking it over to a buddy who's got a machine shop and have him go through the engine, the bottom end, seeing worst case scenario, likely to have to sleeve that cylinder 7 to see how bad the walls are on it. You know, maybe make something come out of this pile of junk that we've got going on here. That's probably going to be our best bet, because honestly, I don't think this kind of car at 240,000 miles is going to be able to hold a whole lot of a crazy build to it. So big old letdown on this video, guys. I'm sorry about that one, but you know what? I do have some wheels to work on still, because these wheels are just junk, and I still am going to be working with Raptor, and we're going to Raptor line some wheels. So let's jump over to me doing that. Normally somebody's like, oh, I got some crusty wheels. We take it to the guy who repairs all the wheels for us, charges like $50 a piece. But you know what? That's not going to be any fun. We got to redo these ourselves today. So we've got these crappy wheels, and I got a bunch of Raptor liner, which we love using here on the channel. So Raptor lining the 300 wheels. That's right. So now that I don't really work at the dealership, it was kind of a weird thing, and I had to take these things into Captain Ron for him to take the tires off for me. So that was kind of an odd thing, but as you can see, I've already started kind of grinding on this one, and this is how bad these rims are really looking here for us. These things are crusty and corroded and nasty and pitted all over the place, all down inside the fronts of the wheels and everything. So you can see kind of what we've been doing. We've been scuffing and grinding away at all of these to be able to get down to good, nice, even surface along the tops of these. So we've got something for our Raptor liner to adhere to. So I've got a lot of work here in the actual grinding phase of this one, because like I said, you need something for the Raptor liner to adhere to. So I've got a lot of grinding to be able to get kicking on this one. So normally I like using a lot of the electric grinders to be able to do little things along the inside beads of these. But since I've got so much to do, had to break out the air grinder, because I'm probably going to go through like 37 of these cookies. So we got a lot of grinding to do. Let's get to it. Well, this whole video has turned into a crap sandwich.
It's crap!
And not a very good one at that one. So yeah, I went through and ground like half of a wheel and went through like 2 or 3 of the cookie discs and trying to grind that thing apart, and it does not work out so well. That is not the way to do it with a hand grinder. I'm gonna have to go and get those things blasted. I gotta find a place here locally to at least to be able to do it for me before we can start even getting close to Raptor lining these wheels. So that is my next goal, is to find a place that will bead blast the wheels. And now I got to look for seeing what we're going to do with the motor, or if I can find one for, you know, a decent price. See what we can find for that one. So lots more stuff for me to do. I got to get to working. So thanks for tuning in today, guys. Sorry about the crappy content, but we will be doing a whole lot more here down the road. Hopefully a couple more fun videos with this thing of the side-by-side here in the next week or so. If you haven't already, make sure you tune into the channel. Hit that bell notification so you guys get notified when I come out with new awesome content, just like this one here today. Thanks, and as always, you guys stay awesome.